Hello, geometry students. In this video, we're going to work together to complete part 1 of our Cycle 5B project. And what we're going to do in this part of the project is we're going to verify the exact values of the following trig functions. And what we're interested in are the sine, cosine, and tangent of our special angles. Those would be the 45-degree angle, the 30-degree angle, and the 60-degree angle. So before we do our first verification, let's just review our trig function values, and we use that with the made-up word SOHCAHTOA. It's not really a word, it's just a bunch of letters that help you remember your trig function values. So remember, S stands for sine because the sine of an acute angle is the ratio of the measure of the opposite side to the hypotenuse. The cosine of an acute angle is the ratio of the measure of the adjacent side to the measure of the hypotenuse. And the tangent of an acute angle is the ratio of the measure of the opposite side to the adjacent side. So let's take a look at this picture and let's use it to verify that the sine of a 45-degree angle is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. So let's pick one of those 45-degree angles. How about this one? And then with respect to that 45-degree angle, we want, since we're looking at the sine, we want the opposite side to the hypotenuse. So with respect to the 45-degree angle, x is the opposite side and the hypotenuse is x over square root of 2. So that would be that the sine of a 45-degree angle is equal to x over x times the square root of 2. Well, this can be simplified because we have that common factor of x. So let's divide that out of both of them, the numerator and the denominator. So that's going to give us 1 divided by the square root of 2. Now, we could leave it like that, except that division by the square root of 2 is not considered simplified radical form because it's division by an irrational number. So remember, we learned in class how to fix that. We can rationalize the denominator just by squaring it, multiplying it by itself. That will make the denominator a rational number. And so we will end up with the square root of 2 over 2. So we have just verified that the sine of a 45-degree angle is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. Now let's do the same thing with the cosine of a 45-degree angle. So cosine of a 45-degree angle, again, is equal to the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. So let's look at this 45-degree angle. With respect to it, x is the adjacent side, x divided by the square root of 2 is the hypotenuse. So we get x divided by x times the square root of 2, and that turns out to be the same thing that we got here. So we'll skip the work. We already know that once we simplify that, it's going to simplify to square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so part of this project will be memorizing the sine, cosine, and tangent of these special angles. So if you know sine of 45-degree angle, you also know the cosine of a 45-degree angle because they're both the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so now let's verify that the tangent of a 45-degree angle is equal to 1. Well, remember that tangent of an acute angle is the ratio of the measure of the opposite side to the adjacent. So with respect to this 45-degree angle, the opposite side is x and the adjacent side is x. So the tangent of a 45-degree angle is going to be x over x, and then that reduces to 1. All right, so these are the values you want to memorize. That the sine of a 45-degree angle is square root of 2 over 2. The cosine of a 45-degree angle is square root of 2 over 2. And the tangent of a 45-degree angle is 1. Okay, so now let's use this 30, 60, 90 triangle to verify that the sine of a 30-degree angle is 1/2. So remember that the sine of an angle is equal to the ratio of the measure of the opposite side to the hypotenuse. So let's let me mark this 45-degree angle. And okay, so with respect to, excuse me, it's not a 45, it's a 30-degree angle. And we want the opposite side and the hypotenuse. So with respect to the 30-degree angle, x is the opposite side and 2x is the hypotenuse. So that means that the sine of a 30-degree angle is opposite over hypotenuse, or x over 2x. And then we have a common factor of x that will reduce. So that means that the sine of a 30-degree angle is 1/2. All right. Then the cosine of a 30-degree angle. Remember, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So let's take a look at this 30-degree angle. With respect to it, x squared root of 3 is the adjacent leg. 2x is the hypotenuse. So the cosine of a 30-degree angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be x squared of 3 over 2x. Then we've got that common factor of x again that will reduce. So that means that the cosine of a 30-degree angle is the square root of 3 over 2. And then the tangent of a 30-degree angle, let's verify that that's equal to the square root of 3. So remember, tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So with respect to this 30-degree angle, the opposite side is x, the adjacent side is x squared of 3. So tangent of a 30-degree angle is equal to opposite over adjacent, that is x over x times the square root of 3. So we have that common factor of x again that will cancel or reduce, which would leave us with 1 over the square root of 3. So that's equal to 1 over the square root of 3, which is not incorrect. However, it's not considered simplified because, again, it's division by an irrational number. So let's go ahead and rationalize the denominator by multiplying it by itself. Do the same thing to the numerator. And we get that the tangent of a 30-degree angle is the square root of 3 over 3. So again, you want to start memorizing. The sine of a 30-degree angle is 1/2. Cosine of a 30-degree angle is square root of 3 over 2. And tangent of a 30-degree angle is square root of 3 over 3. So last but not least, let's verify that the sine, cosine, and tangent of a 60-degree angle are these values. All right, so again, using this triangle, we will base our work off of this 60-degree angle. So let's start with the sine of a 60-degree angle, which is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So with respect to this 60-degree angle, the opposite side is x squared of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2x. So that would give us x times the square root of 3 over 2x, and then we have a common factor of x that'll cancel. So the sine of a 60-degree angle is the square root of 3 over 2. When you go to memorizing, remember that the sine of an angle is the same thing as the cosine of its complement. So once you've memorized the sine of a 60-degree angle, you will also have memorized the cosine of a 30-degree angle. All right, so now let's verify that the cosine of a 60-degree angle is square root of 3 over 2. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of the 60-degree angle in our diagram then would be, here's our 60-degree angle, adjacent over hypotenuse would be x over 2x. So that's x over 2x. Those common factors of x will cancel, and we get that the cosine of a 60-degree angle is 1/2, okay? Again, notice that the cosine of the 60-degree angle is the same as the sine of your 30-degree angle. And then last but not least, let's verify that the tangent of a 60-degree angle is square root of 3 over 3. So if tangent is opposite over adjacent, let's look at our diagram. The opposite side is x square root of 3. The adjacent side is x. So I just realized I have a typo here. This is supposed to say square root of 3. I apologize for that. So now let's verify that the tangent of a 60-degree angle is square root of 3. By looking at our diagram, we'll take opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of our 60-degree angle in the diagram is equal to x square root of 3 over x. Those common factors of x will cancel, and we get that the tangent of a 60-degree angle is just equal to the square root of 3. So you want to memorize that the sine of a 60-degree angle is the square root of 3 over 2, which is the same as the cosine of a 30-degree angle. We want to memorize that the cosine of a 60-degree angle is 1/2, which is the same as the sine of its complement. And then last but not least, the tangent of a 60-degree angle is square root of 3. And you'll remember that this tangent of a 60-degree angle and the tangent of a 30-degree angle, these two numbers are reciprocals of each other. All right, so you'll want to start memorizing these values. In the next part of the project, you will practice evaluating trig functions and also practice inverse functions, and you'll see more about that in part 2.